Welcome back to Inner Beast, everybody. This is part 3 of our 3-part series on power versus cowardice. Fear not, you can start with this episode first if you so choose. Whether you are joining us for the first time or you've seen the other 2 videos, you should know by now that you need to build your body, sharpen your mind, and be well on your way to locking yourself into a life of discipline. However, none of that will mean a thing if you cannot make the world notice. Power unused is power that will be stolen, plain and simple. Expansion is the only proof that you're alive. And if no one is trying to stop you, it's because you are not a threat. This will be how you stop being just another name and become impossible to erase. It's time to lock in. All right, everybody, welcome to the final phase. This is about dominating the world around you. I'm gonna be very real with you, man. Most men will live and die as ghosts. They're never seen when they're alive, and they're never remembered once they're gone. And this is gonna apply to most of you. Now, some of you may have built yourself, and some of you may have expanded your power, and so maybe this won't apply to you, but the truth is the power that isn't secured is stolen. So even if you have made money, that's not gonna matter as much as do you own the domain that you're in? And even if you've built a presence, have you made your name into an actual weapon? And even if you have garnered and gained some power, will your legacy outlive you? See, this is the thing. You don't get to stop when you achieve any one of those things. There's no coasting. There's no relaxing. You don't get to take your foot off the gas. The world remembers kings, warriors, and empire builders. The world forgets the men who simply just did well. So this isn't meant to be just motivation. This isn't meant to be a guide. This is a system. It's just a checklist so that you can carve out your place in history or fade into nothing. Believe it or not, they may take almost the same exact amount of work. It's just focusing on doing stupid shit or on shit that matters. We're gonna start with step 12 since we ended on step 11, and that's gonna be build a network. Guys, power is multiplied through people. A lone wolf can hunt, but a pack controls territory. Every powerful man in history had alliances, armies, and networks of influence. Every empire that stood the test of time was built by people, not just a single ruler. Every self-made success had connections that unlocked new levels of power. That is across the board. This applies across the board. See, weak men think that they can do everything alone. Powerful men know that they need leverage. So you have to be intentional. Surround yourself with fucking killers. Surround yourself with absolute high performers. Surround yourself with men who will challenge and push you and will not accept any bullshit from you. Your network determines your net worth. We hear that all the time, but it's not just financially. It is also socially and strategically. Very hard to build a monument with just 2 hands. I suggest you take this to heart. Step 13, control your reputation. Man, you seriously need to make your name into a weapon. Your name should be an asset before you ever enter a room. Now, some men, they walk into a place and they command instant respect. Some men are spoken about in rooms that they've never been in. Some men have reputations that make people hesitate before challenging them. And that's the position you want to put yourself in. You want to be in this position. Weak men are forgettable. Powerful men are impossible to ignore. So how do you build a name that carries weight? If you've built your mind, you've built your body, if you've expanded your power beyond, if you've built power through yourself and through your environment, the rest is simple, man. Just keep your damn word. Your reputation is built on reliability. Be ruthless about quality. Never put your name on something weak. Not when you're learning something on a learning curve, but once you're not. And demand respect. Never tolerate disrespect in business or in life. Your reputation should precede you, so you want to make sure that it speaks powerfully. Step 14, you got to own your own territory, man. Carve out space that belongs simply to you. Powerful men do not just exist in this world. They shape it and they bend it to their will. Every empire had land they controlled. Every king had a throne from which he ruled. Every business leader has an industry in which they dominate. See, weak men just float. Powerful men claim ground. So if you're in business, you need to dominate your industry. If you're in leadership, you need to command absolute respect in your domain. If you are in social settings, be the man that people look to, not the one who follows. You don't just exist in this world, man. You carve out a space that belongs simply to you. I am telling you specifically, do not be like other people. Find your lane and dominate your lane. You be the absolute you, and those things will fall into place. Step 15. You got to design your legacy. You got to make your impact unforgettable. Power that dies with you is power that's wasted. Alexander the Great died at 32, but his name still echoes through time. Genghis Khan's empire faded, but his genetic legacy still spreads across the world. The greatest minds, warriors and conquerors, built something that outlived them. Weak men think only in terms of today or their one tiny little lifetime. Powerful men think in terms of centuries. So what are you building that will exist when you are gone? What impact are you making that will outlast your own life? What lessons, power, or influence are you passing on? If you do not design your legacy, the world will forget you. So you have to be intentional about the type of legacy that you're trying to build. So build who you are with intent, and then work on creating the impact and legacy that you want to leave behind with intent. Step 16, man. The power mindset. You got to stay hungry and stay dangerous. This is the final truth. Power is never finished. Weak men think success is a finish line. They think that discipline is temporary, and they think that once they make it, they can relax. Everything is you just got to do it for now until you get to a point where you no longer have to do that. That's how weak men think, so that they can go live on the beach and, nap in a fucking hammock all the time. Powerful men know that expansion is eternal. The second you get comfortable, someone else is taking your spot. The second you stop growing, you're shrinking. And that is true. The second you let up, you lose momentum. Power is a lifelong pursuit. Stay hungry, stay dangerous. You gotta want it. And you cannot ever stop. You cannot ever falter. You cannot ever hesitate. Decide what you want, go get it. The final command, rule or be ruled. You have two choices. You can continue stacking power, expanding your influence, and dictating your own future, or you can stop growing. You can let your edge dull and watch as other men just pass you by. There's no neutral ground in power. So you have to build yourself, expand your reach, command the world around you, and leave a legacy that echoes beyond your lifetime. It is either dominate or be forgotten. Plain and simple. Now, I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to be very honest. Most of you will fail. Most men are going to fail. Some of you are going to watch this and take action. Some of you will build, expand, and dominate. A few of you will stack power relentlessly. And one or two of you, if maybe possibly that many, will rise while others stay asleep. But most of you will do nothing. Most of you are going to close this video and return back to a life and a mind of weakness. You're just going to keep on scrolling, keep procrastinating, keep making the same excuses, or make up new ones. It doesn't matter. You're just going to sit on the sidelines watching other stronger men just pass you by. You're going to choose to be ruled. The men who act will be the kings of this era. The men who wait will be the peasants who serve them. And when you're old and weak, looking back on a life of submission, you're going to regret that. You're going to remember this moment. You're like, I had the blueprint. I had the answers. And I let it just slip through my fingers because I was too busy using those same fingers to either scroll, text, play video games, anything but doing the things that mattered. So I like to give you guys challenges, right? Because I think in terms of that way for myself. But how do you challenge someone to make their presence impossible to ignore? So we're going to have to forget that whole bullshit about write it down and wish on it nonsense, right? Writing things down is very powerful. You should always do that. I am a huge proponent of that. You can see right here, I have shit that I'm writing on all the time. But for the next 30 days, instead of writing things down, track domination in cold, brutal numbers. Every single day, measure time spent building. It should be a minimum of 4 hours daily, building your businesses, your body, and your mind. A minimum, I say it should be probably 2 hours per. How many hours per day are you doing that? Contacts made. Minimum two strategic relationships daily. Build your network or die alone. Content/presence expansion. Minimum of one piece of public proof daily that you're out here making noise. Online or offline, just no invisibility. Skill advancement, man. You should be spending a minimum of 1 hour a day on a craft, trade, or knowledge expansion directly related to your power building. You gotta sacrifice comfort, man. Identify and cut out one comfort every week. A habit, a distraction, a vice, just burn it. And sacrifice sleep. Don't sleep more than 6.5 hours a night and get more done while you're awake. If you miss more than 3 days, you start over. If you slack once, add a penalty day. And I mean that. Punish yourself for being a pussy. Complete the 30 days and you'll understand what it feels like to move like a conqueror. Every day you should be strategizing on how to get your name in a new room, challenge someone above you, make a power move that forces respect. If no one notices you, you're not making big enough moves. If no one hates on you, you're not threatening enough to the system. You need to be a threat to the established order. Make them talk, make them react, make them respond. That is what power is. People responding and reacting to you, not the other way around. And if you can't, you aren't playing the game at a high enough level. Level up. Take everything that you're doing, times it by 10. Don't stop until you fucking fall the fuck out. Whatever it takes is what you do. Power never stops moving, guys. The second you slow down, another person is gonna gain ground. The second you relax, another man is hunting. There is no maintenance phase in power. You are either expanding or being replaced. It's rule, expand, conquer, repeat. Rule, expand, conquer, repeat. Or die a nobody. The choice is yours, man. The graveyard is filled with men who thought tomorrow was a good day to start. So conquer today or be forgotten tomorrow. Stay where you are or unleash your inner beast.